From the murals on the wall to the street side stand, Mark's got the map, Jeff's got the plan. Cruise through Wisconsin where the sun stays bright, looking for a flavor or a brand in a new sight. Let's take flight with Mark and Jeff. Hippie chick join the mad stork flock and turn it into a whole big crew. They all says we're following you. Jeff and Mark exploring again, finding the best wackadoodles in the land. Add Mark and Jeff to your day, because we have so much to say. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter how far, our curiosity's charged. We're ready to see what's next. Mark and Jeff need this job, so please come join the flock and hit the like, share, and unsubscribe. Thank you from Mark and Jeff and the Mad Stork Flock.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff.
You're there? You can hear me?
I am there.
All right, we made it. Look at that. No, you got to keep the headphones on, though.
No, I can hear you through my speaker, too. It's all crazy.
All right. Okay. All right.
Don't ask me what, but it's working, man.
Man, that is so great. And I'm glad. Did you get all your work done this morning?
No, I didn't. I was in the garage. We're building this, or I should say it was a 3-year reconstruction project of this mini greenhouse my wife had put together with windows. And we just had to redo the paint and everything. And it was one of those projects that we just kept putting off. And I said, we're getting it done this weekend. So we're about 95% there. And then I had to, when you do these projects, you got tools and screws and everything all over the place. So I have to clean my basement. So I got half of those done.
So are there going to be enough screws left, or there not enough screws for everything?
Oh, I over purchased. You always got to have an inventory. That's where it ends up. I learned that from my father-in-law. When he passed, I inherited about 3,000 nuts and bolts and screws.
Nice. Well, I figured we'd come on, today and just kind of go back to what we were saying a little bit yesterday. And I want to clarify one thing, and I want to talk a little bit. Looks like Michael Proctor is going to have to come back and do his deposition with Karen Reed and Alan Jackson and the lawyers. Just that I don't understand. It says that they had a court hearing this morning, and then he said it stayed for 24 hours. But he's got to come back. So I think it's within 24 hours. I don't think it's at today sometime, but I guess we'll find out because there's another hearing this afternoon. So we're going to find out more about that. But it looks like he's not going to be able to get away with filing a paper last Friday and saying he can't make it to the deposition. Of course, he's probably thinking, boy, I got to go in there and now face Alan Jackson after all those text messages came out that I'm a racist and everything else and a pig and so I'm sure
the guy should be locked up just because he's stupid. And they probably should, even if he doesn't have a vasectomy already, somebody needs to give him one. So there's no way he can populate this world with someone as dumb as him. The gene pool is indicating somebody's got to go. We just got to eliminate it.
Yeah. So it's so we'll find out, I guess, later today. I'm not a lawyer. Mark's not a lawyer, but it looks like we're going to find out something later today. But it doesn't look like he's going to get away with saying I can't make the deposition. That's what it looks like right now. So other things that's happening yesterday, we talked about got in a big discussion about my opinions, and I say, do I still have the? Maybe it needs to be brought up again. I'm not sure. Hang on a second.
Maybe.
Just take a look at this. Hang on.
You know what they say about opinions, though, Jeff?
Yep.
They're like assholes.
I'm going to remove us just for a second so people can read this, okay? Okay, I think that's going to help people moving forward. That we're not here to change anybody's mind. My opinion is my opinion. And my opinion states that the bottom line is, why give the anti-Karen Reed people and Turtle Boy people, why give them ammunition? Okay. and bring something public that all of them are going to jump on right away. All right. I don't care who you stand with. I don't care if you stand with that thing called Machado. I don't care if you stand with Baker, who I like. I mean, you can sit there and talk to your blue in the face. I like his content. I like what he does. All right. I just don't think that it was the smart thing for him to do, to get into a text message or sexting, whatever way. And then your defense to it is, well, that's what adults do to have fun. It's fun.
No. Mature adults don't do that. Children do that.
I mean, I will never get that. Okay. And you do it for 2 weeks and somebody goes crazy, whatever. Somebody gets mad. And if you're embarrassed about it, if it does come out, if you're embarrassed about it, okay, that means you shouldn't have done it. Because if it comes out or whatever, if it doesn't bother you, then fine. Yeah, go ahead, do it. But if you're going to be embarrassed about it, then you did the wrong thing. That's
Jeff, I gotta show you my T-shirt.
I got to show you.
It's so true.
What does it say? I can't see it.
I hike because people suck.
There you go. And that's
this is an example.
But here, I mean, I don't buy merch from channels. I just don't. But I broke down because I like one channel, and I still like the one channel because even though the lead guy, some say that he was on the fence and he said that, he's apologizing and everything, whatever. But I still like, and I'll show you my shirt. I still like well, here I can do this because I actually bought 2. I gave him so much money of mine, and I bought 2 shirts. And here's the second one I'll hold up. And I like Rad House Media, okay? And so I actually went out and I bought some merch from them. And so that's a channel that I like.
You gotta get a money manager.
I never said, Mark, that I didn't like the Baker. All right. I never said that. And if anybody took that from what I did say yesterday, it's on you, and that's the bottom line. It's on them. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see my microphone. Can you see my microphone?
Yep. You got a rat on it.
So no, what happened is somebody sent me a pocket pussy, and I thought, well, this is the best thing I can do with it. I can use it as a windscreen for my microphone.
What is it supposed to be? Did I hear you right?
Yeah, you heard me right. So, I thought, well, isn't this a great thing to do? I could just put it on my microphone. It'll be a nice.
What does it smell like?
It's grape. So I mean, there you go. So that's what I did with it. Instead of talk about it, in a chat or something like that, I made use of it and I put it on a microphone. Yeah. And now it's my windscreen. It's supposed to protect from, popping peas. You can supposedly you can say, Peter Piper picked a pail of peppers, and it's not popping them.
Oh,
okay.
Peter Piper picked up pickled peppers.
No, it's Peter Piper picked a pail of peppers.
A pail of peppers?
Yeah, Peter Piper picked a pail of peppers. Why is that so hard for anybody to do?
Peter Piper picked a pail of peppers.
There you go. See,
I didn't know pail. I didn't know Peter Piper picked a pail. I picked a pail of cherries.
Well, you're trying to say as many peas as you can to see if it pops.
Beep, 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 beep. Boop, 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 boop.
So, and I got a big discussion about opinions, if they're protected by First Amendment. Opinions are protected as long as you're not defaming, as long as you're not, causing somebody harm, causing somebody, financial hardship. I can say what I think. I can say that he should have never got in a sexting situation. I can say that, and people can say, well, you're wrong. And that's fine. Say it. I don't care, but I'm sorry. I'm an adult. And that's not the first thing I think about if I'm texting a woman. It's just not.
I think, Jeff, at this point, who gives a shit? If they want to misunderstand a lot of things, we're not here to educate the ignorant. I mean, you got it up there. The disclaimer is clear. Now we just got to let it go. You ignorant people, go F off. We're good with what we're saying.
So this is the last time we talk about it, okay?
Last time.
It's done, it's over with, and it's, whatever it is. It's done. Okay. And this is my opinion and my belief. And you're not going to change my mind, just like I'm not going to change your mind, and I shouldn't change your mind.
I want to change minds though, because there's too many ignorant people out there that need information, and that's what we're providing. So it's not always accurate, but that's what we're providing. So you might have a different mission than me.
And so the other part of it too is that if they said somebody that I was talking with, they go, a couple of things I could just go, it's kind of funny. First of all, they said that I said it for clicks. All right. Now, me and you are not both. We're not smart enough for that. Okay.
No.
To even think about what we're saying is going to be clickable. Okay. First. Okay. So then this person said, now remember, she's talking to me in our channel, in our.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Posted. Okay. So she's talking to me in our channel. I'm not talking to her in her channel. So she sends me a thing. She goes, "I'm done talking to you. Do not contact me no more." And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. You're talking to me on my channel. You're responding to me. I'm not going out to respond to you. So she was like, "Well, you can't talk to me if I tell you that you can't talk to me." Well, then stop.
Sounds like she's a member of Congress.
So that was kind of idiotic. But anyway, so the people, and we'll say this, okay? For the people, when we started the show, we said right off the bat, we're going to probably hit some nerves that people aren't going to like, but we're going to be fun, and we're going to concentrate on fun. Okay, that's what we want to do. We're going to give you, we're going to give you the Karen Read, the Turtle Boy stuff. I'm a big Turtle Boy supporter. I believe that Karen Read is innocent. Always have believed that Karen Read's innocent, and I believe that the Michael Proctor text messages coming out proves that there was a chance that he probably did do some crazy things with trying to get her, charged. And so I believe that. So that's where I stand and all that kind of stuff. But don't come at us and say, "Oh, they're doing it for clicks." I don't know what I do for clicks. Maybe say that I don't agree. Maybe that I hate Turtle Boy and I hate Karen Read. Maybe that'll get me some clicks. But
I think we should drink Manhattans while we're doing this show.
Maybe that's
clicks.
And maybe we would understand more of what's going on if we did drink during the show.
There would be clarity there. Certainly.
So, to sit there and then say bad things back to us, all right, respond, with your comments being mean and everything else. Just remember one thing. The mean comments are supposed to come from the other side, not from the side that you actually agree with about Turtle Boy and Karen Read. Okay? So just remember that. They're supposed to be the one that's throwing the darts, not our side. So, all right, now that we're done with that. So more on the Michael Proctor, like I said, he's supposed to, go to the deposition. Of course, he's afraid to go to it. I don't know if he's afraid to go to it, but he's embarrassed probably. I don't know. He's going to have to answer some questions. And
if he's not embarrassed on what he did, now there's a psychiatric evaluation that needs to be done. The guy obviously is messed up in his head, and we should start asking him what his relationship with his mother is.
Right. I mean, he was way out of line.
Yeah, way.
And so we just, so that's what we wanted to get on. And I know like today is probably going to be a rough one for getting people, because I know attorney Melanie Little is live, and Turtle Boy just got done, and there's others that are going live, but people will be on the replay crew of this. And like I said, I think our big thing was to come on and talk about what was going on. And evidently I got a Twitch account that I never knew I had. And I keep getting a Twitch. It's another platform. And I guess, they're contacting me that I should be on Twitch. But I didn't know that I had a Twitch account. So maybe I need to look at that. But I know that
it sounds like a text message that Proctor would get into.
I know Boston Gingy said that I need to do like shorts, do little shorts of our show and post them on TikTok. Now I do got to get out and do a TikTok on us. and start doing that, because that will help with bring people to the channel. Now, we lost some people yesterday, all right? And I'm not, I go on and I it's kind of tongue in cheek about losing and getting and all. Please note that I'm not that serious about the whole, we got to get to the 500. Yeah, it'd be nice to get to 500, but I said it'd been nice to get to 100. Do people remember that? I said it'd be nice to get to 100, and it'd be nice to get to 200. All right? It's
So
not
Jeff,
make my day.
if you go to TikTok, what would you do? Edit out
Yeah.
and just put the highlights on, because that would narrow our show down to about 20 seconds.
Yeah, it'd be, we'd try to pick the good points out. You talking about we should drink Manhattan, that'd be a good little bit to put on there. And that would make us understand more if we did drink. Something like that. Anything that is a little clippable that, we made a mistake on. Maybe, you talking about how you used to tip me over in a wheelchair and that kind of stuff. TikTok.
Let's stick with lying to people.
Me talking about my new microphone cover.
Big
that's another clippable thing, because somebody tried to be funny and send it to me and everything. But it does it. Don't you think it sounds great though for a nice little windbreaker of this thing?
I don't know if I pull it off and let me hear the difference.
Well, then it's going to be hard for me to put it back on.
If you can't put it right back on, then don't take it off. Now you broke it. I can't even hear you. You just wrecked it. Holy man. Technical difficulties. All because of Mark. Usually I'm the one with technical difficulties.
All right. Now, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, now I broke it again. You see that?
I think it's.
What do you think?
I think it's about the same.
It's about the same?
Yeah.
Peter Piper picked a pail of peppers. See, the peas are a little bit harder.
You're right. They are. You got to put your stocking.
So I got to put that back on, don't I? So here we go. We're putting the old pocket pussy back on.
You just wanted to say that again.
Oh boy, it just does not want to stay clipped. I bought a new clip for this thing. So anyway, that'll be coming today, hopefully.
Well, your new windsock, your pocket pussy, reminded me of your promptness on getting back to me on the fishing charters for salmon.
I sent you the thing. I sent you the
Yeah, I did. I thank you very much for being so prompt on that.
You're like trying to make fun of me. I did it right away.
No, I'm connecting the two things to the smell of your pocket.
When you speak
and salmon fishing,
I listen. And I know that when the boss tells me to do something, I better do it.
The boss.
So,
you're the boss.
And
you're the boss, man.
So who's going to all the whatever what were you going to do? Salmon fishing?
Salmon fishing. There's a guy that we're friends with down in Florida, and he's from Chattanooga, and I call him Chattanooga Greg because there's about 12 Gregs down there. So Chattanooga Greg. Yep, he's coming up to Door County to visit my friend Joe, who is a Neenah guy that we really got to know down in Florida. So Joe's a big fisherman. He likes to fish, so he's taking Greg fishing, and they needed a charter, and
So Joe didn't know where a charter was, and he's from Door County now?
No, Joe is not from Door County.
Oh.
Joe is from Neenah here.
Oh, okay.
So he needed a guy, and so we put him up. I like Dean. Dean, actually, I think we talked about this. His hunting property is just to the north of where I hunt.
Right. So
I'm going to give Dean a call first.
Yeah, Dean's really good. So I think it's Hooked on Charters, I believe it's called, and he does a really good job, and you'll catch fish and have a good time too.
Yeah. Did you know that Gordon family, they all laugh alike? They all have this goofy laugh. It makes me laugh. And I used to work at Dwayne's at the grocery store with his brother in the meat department.
Oh yeah, Donnie.
No, you're right, Don.
Yep.
Don Gordon. Oh, funny guy. Good guy.
Don might have been the nicest out of all of them, I think.
I think so. His other brother, who caught me walking on his property because I got twisted in the woods.
That's Dean's dad.
Yeah, he got really mad at me until he realized that I wasn't. I literally, got twisted around, and then when he knew I was friends with Don, then he was my best friend, and he helped us track a buck.
Well, see, there you go.
The Gordon family is a good family, good people.
Good people. Of course, I grew up in that area where they grew up, and so I know just about all of them. So, but yeah, they'll have a good time on the fishing trip with Dean. So hopefully he has room for them when they are up in this area and everything. So yeah, so today then, like I said, everybody's waiting on the Michael Proctor stuff if he's going to be at the deposition today, or I guess some say that he flew out of state. And it's like he can't run away from a deposition.
What is he? He's not like a congressman where they leave the state so they don't get a vote.
For some reason, they think they can get away with, but it's, when it's court ordered like that, you got to go. You have to go. And I mean, I've been deposed a couple of times, and I know that you just you can't come up with a medical reason why you can't make it. You just can't do it. Of course, during COVID, you could, you could Zoom call or whatever, but you can't do that now. So, but we'll find out later today about that kind of stuff.
Is that going to be on video? Will you be able to watch it?
This judge does not allow a live stream. Now you can take the Zoom and do it after it's over. He just doesn't allow live streaming.
Gotcha.
So, then Turtle Boy, don't forget, you still got to, support Turtle Boy. He's got a lot of things coming up. I mean, some of this stuff, I still haven't got marked to all of his trouble, but to read about it. But you got to support the guy, right? He does need the money. I don't give a crap that he went out and bought a house. I don't care about any of that. He's got 2 kids. They got to have a place to live too. And just get out there and support him, because he's got to pay the attorneys. He's got to get out of this stuff. I mean, it's just ridiculous, some of the stuff that he's going through. So please support him. And, and of course, we still want Karen Reed to be supported too, because she's got a lot. Karen Reed's going to be very well off one day, but right now she's not. Okay, that's the point. She's not. Now, if you're looking for a payback, like, for your $10 that you give her, don't be like that. All right, give her $20 and say, I hope everything works out.
Does she have a show?
No, she doesn't have a show yet. They've been saying one of her mouthpieces, which I don't know if he still is or whatever, kept on saying for, since last fall, the Reed Files are coming, the, new show on YouTube, and it never happened. Yeah. So we don't know why. But I guess the judge was not too happy, Mark. Now, I haven't heard what the judge exactly said about it, but I hear that it was not real happy about the Good Morning America piece, where she said that the new lawsuit against the state police and Canton police was a strategic move. He did not like that.
Well, he didn't like the word strategic?
Right. He didn't like the way she said it. So, but he wasn't a fan of the whole Good Morning America interview. Now, that's her first time I think she was out one time on a podcast. Can't remember which one it was, but she did speak. But this is like the first, post acquittal of the charges that she's actually said something. So I don't know. She's not gagged to say that she can't say it, but I guess he didn't like the way she said that it was a strategic move.
I'll have to go out there and watch that segment. I saw, on a couple other news stations that they talked about her civil suit, but I did not see that interview. I'll go to whatever channel.
That's what happened this morning. And then, like I said, the other part, like, we're not going to talk about no more. This channel, I wanted, just to go over again our hopes for this channel. Now, I'm one that, I put this whole, the Venmo thing for my new microphone and all that kind of stuff. Right now, we're not really looking at the monetize. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to concentrate on that down the road. And yeah, it'd be nice if somebody, broke the the old cherry on giving us something in our Venmos, and maybe that just picks up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but right now our concentration is let's get the 500 subs, like we concentrate on get the 200, and let's get the 500. And now I know yesterday we lost about 15 people. And if you're that thin-skinned, and if you're really worried about what I'm saying or what Mark has said, and right now it's my fault. It's not Mark's fault. Mark didn't say anything yesterday. I said it. And that's fine. That's fine. And again, I'm not for everybody, all right? That's just the way it is. I'm not. And but we're going to have fun no matter what. If we're wrong, if I'm wrong, then I'm going to say I'm wrong. Okay, but I just don't feel like in the subject that I was talking about that I was completely wrong.
No.
Now, the people that want to sit there and be on one side or the other side, yeah, I'm wrong. But if you look at it as a person that's not involved in it, I don't think I'm wrong. So, I'm going to sit there and say I'm not wrong, and we're going to move on. And if you don't want to be with the channel, fine. You're not going to be, it's not going to make us, mad, and we're going to go off on you and all this kind of stuff. No, we just move forward. The only reason why I brought up about this one person that was complaining about me is that when she said, quit talking to me. I told you to quit talking to me. Well, you were responding to my channel. It wasn't I was responding to you. You were responding to my channel.
Right.
And that was completely idiotic in my mind. Now, me calling that idiotic is going to probably piss her off completely, and she'll never come back. That's fine. All right. Stick with the people that you agree with and have that boring life where you're not going to look at anything, and look down the middle and say, boy, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe this shouldn't have happened. Maybe this, but if you're not open to that, then that's fine. That's fine. That's where it sits.
There he goes. Done.
That's it there. So, other than that, like I said, we got a lot of things coming up that we're going to talk about. Mark's always he does more research than I do. Okay. Just know.
I probably do more on other than Karen Reed,
Right.
looking at some of this stuff, but the world is full of good stuff that's going on. What got me going now? Do you want me to?
Yep. Go ahead.
Segue. I love listening to commencement speeches. I don't know if you ever listen to any of those, Jeff, commencement speeches.
The only one I've listened to lately is the Eric Church one at North Carolina.
I was going to bring that one up. This is an example. If you haven't listened to Eric Church doing his commencement speech down there, go ahead and do it. He does a great job of tying music into life lessons on the path, on what you should do. So that's a great example. Jerry Seinfeld had one a couple of years ago that was really entertaining and good. There was a Navy SEAL. He did one about making your bed.
Yep.
But then there was one, Harrison Ford did one just recently. We have to be social warriors. Let's get out there. The world sucks. You got to be anti everything. And I'm like, give me a freaking break. Commencement speaking is all about motivating these youths
For the future.
that think that they know it all, to get off their asses and live the world and do good, not be already tainted with a view of the world is shit and we got to tear it apart and United States suck, blah, 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 blah. No. Get out there, do your best, look out for others, be kind, and now, as Ricky Gervais says, thank your God, grab your trophy and get off stage.
Right.
You're done. Just be happy.
People need to be reminded that if they go against a country, like they talk about the United States sometimes, in other countries, they would be put away forever for saying the stuff that they say. That's why we're the free world. And that's why we have people fighting for our free stuff that we do. And it's a slap in the people that are protecting us. It's a slap in their face when you say the United States sucks. It's a complete slap in their face. And you can go against me on that too. I don't care, because it is. And if it's so bad here, then leave. That's
Leave.
you can do that. You can leave. You can
Yeah.
go.
Is it perfect? No, it's not
No.
perfect. We
No.
all know that. And we work on those, and hopefully we're introspective enough. I think the common man might be a politician. They're not as introspective because they never can do anything wrong. Because then if they admit they did, then they wouldn't get reelected. But at the end of the day, be introspective. Look at me first, meaning you. Identify where you can do better. Sort of the old proverb about the log in your eye. Before you try to take out the sliver out of my eye, look at the log in yours.
You have human beings making decisions when they see things in different ways. You're never going to get it right 100%. And I go back to a thing Vince Lombardi said. You know what? Why don't we strive for perfection, and maybe we'll catch excellence on the way?
Yeah,
that's the way to look at it. Strive for perfection, and maybe we'll catch excellence on the way.
I'm just trying to get to be average.
You can, be good, and whatever, and stand your ground. If you feel that you're right, stand your ground, but also be able to say, you know what, I'm human, and sometimes I get it wrong.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
No.
And so
I've yet to do that because I've been right all the time, but I'm looking forward to that time I can say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
And you can't sit there and just point fingers and say, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
No.
And not have anything to back that up. The world
100%.
sucks, the world sucks, the world sucks. Yeah, the world sucks so much for you, Harrison Ford, that you're making millions of dollars because of us. But the world sucks.
The world sucks that he's in his little tiny mansion, flying around in his private jet, putting all that carbon his footprint. But it's
the same.
You guys change. I'll continue living my
Taylor Swift.
life.
She does it all the time. Where she tries to tell you what she thinks and everything else. And here she is flying all over. And here she is. She wants better air and all this kind of stuff. But here she's got 10 jets that she's flying on, and it's crazy. It's like, listen to me, but don't be like me.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's something that, and she can say all she wants that she gives money away every year and all this to whatever. I mean, if she give money away and actually put it at stuff that's going to help people, we would know more about it, and they'd be taking their curtain call. Okay. Now, I want to go back to, this is something that I know about. Eric Church, all right?
Yep.
Eric Church, Mark, should have been, in the last 20 years, should have been one of the biggest country superstars to ever walk through country music. And I truly believe that. He can write music. He's a great poet. And he got shafted. And it's because of his attitude. People didn't agree with his Republican way, I should say. Okay, his
conservative positions,
and then there's the other part of it too, where the one that really stuck to him was the time that he was on, and I was actually at a show on that tour where I wasn't at the show when it really broke down, but I remember him doing what they said he did. He was opening up for Rascal Flatts. Okay. And I know a little bit of Eric. I mean, if you said to Eric, hey, Jeff, in Wisconsin, blah, 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 he would say, oh, I know Jeff. And Eric, I mean, he does his own thing. And if you tell him not to do something, guess what?
He's doing it.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. So on the Rascal Flatts tour, they had this catwalk where you got the stage and then it walks out into the crowd. You got the crowd on both sides. So it was a long catwalk. And this will get out because I'm friends with Joe Don Rooney, who is the lead guitar player for Rascal Flatts, one of the three of the Rascal Flatts. And he's friends of mine on Twitter. And he follows me. I follow him and known him for a long time. And he can confirm this or deny it. But Eric Church, they had told Eric Church, do not walk on the catwalk. Do not. That's Rascal Flatts catwalk. Don't walk on it. You know, when you're singing, don't go out on it. And so he kept on doing it, kept on doing it, kept on doing it. They kept on saying, you know, don't do it. So he kept on. And then they said, well, you're done. They threw him off the tour, right? So Eric Church, being Eric Church, picked the next date. I think it was either the next date or 2 weeks later. They were in a city, and what he did is he went in a parking lot across the street, and he had his own show.
Oh,
The same night
jeez.
Rascal Flatts had their show, which was a great bold move, and I laughed at it, you know, because he's showing that, you know, you can't tell me what to do, and that's what it was about. It wasn't him being a baby. It wasn't him. He was just standing up for what he did, and he thought it was stupid that they didn't want him walking down that catwalk.
Yeah.
And so I mean, that's one of the things he did. And I liked the guy. I mean, I sat down and talked with him many times, had him on my radio show many times, and we talked. And yeah, he's conservative, you know, a little bit more conservative than, you know, where I go probably on mine. But I mean, he's a good guy and a very talented guy. I
Sure.
mean, his music, one of my favorite one is it's about Haggard. And about Merle Haggard, you know, talking about him on the jukebox and that kind of stuff. And it's a great song. But I mean, he did some songs, you know, where you know, there some that were controversy, I guess, in the songs. But I mean, he's a great musician. He's a great storyteller, and truly should have been. I mean, he's making money. Don't get me wrong; he makes money, but he should have been a superstar. And he would have came along about the same time, though, as my friend Blake. So I guess maybe I'm, you know, in the back of my mind and saying, okay, I'm glad he wasn't sharing the stage at that point with Blake. But he's a great guy, and I buy his music. I don't buy much music anymore, but if Eric Church has something, I do buy it. And I mean, I liked what he does. Just like I like Morgan Wallen and I like Luke Combs at Today. I like
Sure.
their music, and I don't care. I mean, I care for the guy if he's messing up and you know, if it's going to cause bad things to his health. But I don't care about Morgan Wallen drinking. You know, he's an adult. If he wants to drink, you know, but I do care that he doesn't show up at shows, you know, if he's drinking and all that kind of stuff. But because if I'm going to pay for a show to go see him, I would like him to be there. And, you know, I'd like him to be at the tip top shape to put on a show. And,
Yeah,
you know, that
absolutely.
kind of stuff I worry about. But I mean, if they want to drink, they drink, you know, in a lot of those people in country music and rock music, Mark, they believe that they have to do what the others did to get there so that they know what they were talking about. I don't know if you need to do that. I don't know if you need to be
Yeah.
drugged up and everything else, but some believe that you do. You know, some believe that they need, you know, some drinks to get on stage, you know, to calm them down. And you know yourself, that turns into a problem very easily.
Well,
When
yeah, exactly. And like you were saying, yeah, it's sort of the libertarian in me. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. As long as you can do whatever you want in the privacy of your home, those type
Right.
of things. But if he was drinking and driving, absolutely, I don't abide by it. If he's
Right.
up there drinking and it's affecting a show that I paid a lot of money to see, of course that bothers me. But if he's out having a good time, I could give two shits
Right.
that what he's doing. So don't be.
you know, that's the way I am with it. And, you know, I go back, you know, when I first started in country music, I was playing a little bit of George Jones's stuff, and George was always called No Show Jones. But
Yeah.
do you know one of my proudest moments that I ever had in country radio and in a situation, and trust me, Blake has done wonders for me, for my life and for my career in radio. But one of the proudest moments I had, because it was one of her favorite singers, my mom, before she passed away, we went to a George Jones show, and we were sitting in the crowd, and I knew George's bass player and band leader for a long time. Ron Gaddis was his name. He passed away a couple of years ago, and Ron was a good guy. You know, they had some trouble. He also had a child with Lori Morgan. Lori Morgan's
Wow.
first child was with Ron Gaddis, and Ron had said, you know, Ron had saw me before the show, and he goes, "Dude, are you coming back?" And he went, "Are you coming backstage?" And I said, "No." You know, I said, "I would like to get my mom, you know, say, you know, something to George or whatever." And he said, "Well, we'll take care of that, no problem." And so George always gets on stage and he goes, well, what do we got to be thankful for, or something like that, right? And so he's going, Ron goes, well, one of our old friends is in the audience tonight, George. And he goes, oh yeah. And he goes, yeah, Jeff Stone. He came to the show tonight with his mother. And he goes, oh, Jeff Stone's mother, you got one good in there. That's a good one right there.
Good job.
He's played a lot of George Jones music, and we'll never forget it. And that was one of my proudest moments because my mom got a chance to hear that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he lied, but
he lied his ass off.
Yeah, but that was good. That's what friends do.
That's right. That's what they do. And I'll never forget that because it was a great moment because you have the possum, the really king of country music. Okay, you can go back to Hank Williams Sr. and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, Haggard and everybody.
But George Jones, everybody loves George Jones' voice. Everybody does. If you love country music, you love George Jones.
I love his Corvette song.
Exactly. So, and one of my favorite songs that he ever did was "Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes?" And
yeah,
nobody does. Nobody fills the shoes that those guys had.
Nope.
And but that was one of my proudest moments in country radio that I had George Jones actually mention my name when he was on stage.
That was awesome.
And so and then I'm not shy about the fact that I have a really good personal relationship with the Kentucky Headhunters. Now, if you don't know who the Kentucky Headhunters are, go out and educate yourself. The Grammy Award winners, CMA Award winners, ACM Award winners, and I'm friends with all of them, every one of them. And they treat me like family. They really do. And it's crazy, the stuff that they've been through, being on radio and then be taken off of radio because they're just not what country radio wants. And all the, everybody thinks that the movement of rock with country was Garth Brooks. Go listen to the Kentucky Headhunters.
Oh, absolutely.
They're the ones that brought that in 1989, 88, 89, 90. And I've been on the stages because of them too. The Hank Williams Jr. they got on the tour with when Hank Williams was at the top, Hank Williams Jr. And I've been on a stage. I was on a stage with them and watched Hank Williams Jr. I saw Hank Williams run off a bus without clothes on, thinking it was his time to come out and sing, and he didn't have no clothes on.
Was he that hammered?
Yeah, he was that hammered. So so
I can't say that I haven't done that, but I wasn't on a bus. Did a campus run once.
But the Kentucky Headhunters, people that don't know who they are, just go up and look. They're big country. Where everybody knows them from, and I think it was maybe number 6 on the charts. It got up to maybe on one chart, but Dumas Walker was the country. Okay, and the reason why I bring that down. The kind of turnaround with the Kentucky Headhunters here. I saw the Kentucky Headhunters. They invited me out. They were at a casino in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They said, "Are you coming to the show?" And I said, I don't know. They said, "Come on, you got to come to the show." So I went to the show. And so now you got to remember, everybody, that knows anything of the Kentucky Headhunters, it's Dumas Walker. And Dumas Walker song, do you know what that song that is, Mark?
No, I don't. I'm going to listen to it.
Let's all go down to Dumas Walker.
Oh, now I know. Got it.
So, and everybody says, oh, yeah, I got to hear that song. They're really good. All their songs are really good. But they only really know Dumas Walker, right? So they're at this casino in the room, and I'm sitting there and everything. And all of a sudden they, you don't do the Dumas Walker song till the end, right? Because that's the one that everybody wants to hear, even though it wasn't really their number one hit. But so they save that at the end, right? So they go into, boom, they hit that guitar string, and now all of a sudden it's Southern rock meets blues, meets rock, meets country. And all of a sudden, what hangs out at casino? They're older people. And they thought they were coming to see George Jones from the 50s and 60s. And all of a sudden, boom, those guitars hit and that drum hit. One of the greatest drummers on earth, Fred Young with the Kentucky Hunters. And you can check that out too. And that's true. And, they were just loud. It was so they got out. It was a mass exit, Mark. I
People
mean,
just left.
they left. And the reason why I bring
Wow.
that up is it reminds me because we go up and down with our subs, right?
Okay.
But it's true, all of a sudden these people are like, well, we didn't come to hear this, even though they got free tickets to the show, right? Because they're gambling. So they left, right? But they had maybe, I don't know, maybe they started out with 500 people and maybe at the end they only had like maybe 125 that stuck around. Well, I mean, they knew on stage, right? They knew what was going on.
Sure.
So their leader, Richard Young, he came out right after the song and he goes, all right, now we got rid of the people that didn't need to be here. Now we're ready to go. And then they went into a show that, I mean, was memorable because they're so good. I mean, they're musician wise, they're so good. And I mean, even my buddy Tracy would tell you that that's a group that if they're at a festival that they're at, Tracy's going on stage to watch them when they're on. That's one of the groups that he'll go watch because their musicianship is unbelievable. And that's from the singer, the guitar players, Greg Martin, the lead guitar player. I mean, the guy subbed, Mark, in the 90s, subbed for Leonard Skinner. That's how good this guy was. And
well, you get two crowds of people. You get people that go for the lyrics, and then you get people that go for the music.
Right.
And I'm on both sides of that fence, but if the singing sucks, I'm listening at the music and how good of musicians they are.
So, I mean, if you ever just want to hear some great music, the Kentucky Headers, look them up, listen to them, because I'll tell you what, they are great. And Fred Young, he does in the show, he does one of the things where he, does a drum solo, which you don't see much anymore of.
No.
And he does a drum solo where he's, drumming for a good 5-10 minutes. And then he takes the sticks and he throws them into the crowd, throws the sticks into the crowd. And so you think you're done. Everybody's clapping and everything else. He sits back down and he uses his hands to continue. Just his hands on his drums. And he's hitting the cymbals. When he's done, I'm not kidding you, I've seen it after a show, his hands are cut because he's hitting those cymbals so hard and hitting the drum so hard. And it's just amazing to watch him. It's on YouTube. You can go check it out, the drum solos. And Richard Young, his brother, is the rhythm guitar player. And he had one of the highest radio plays of a song back in the 90s, and it was called "I'm From the Country and I Like It Like That," and it was I believe Tracy Byrd was the guy that actually recorded it. But
Okay.
Richard Young wrote that song, and of course, gave it to them, and it was a big hit. It was most played song in country music. But Richard, he's got a son. Richard has a son, and his name is John Fred Young. And if you go look him up, he's a drummer now, and he's in his 30s, I believe now. But he is the drummer for Blackstone Cherry, which is a rock group.
Okay, never heard of them.
And they are incredible. But John Fred is taking up where his uncle left off. I mean, he does drum solos in his shows, and it's a crazy thing. So that's my music for today. I mean, I always got some new music nuggets we could do.
Good stories.
But it's
We all enjoy them.
there's a part of going to those shows with the Headhunters that I mean, Doug Phelps, who's the lead singer, him and his brother were lead singers in the beginning, and his brother had a calling. Ricky Lee was his name. Had a calling to do the word of God. All right. He wanted to be a minister. His dad was a minister. Doug's dad was a minister. And so he left the band, and then Doug had left the band, and they both started Brother Phelps for a little bit, had a couple of top 10 hits. And then Doug went back to the Heads. And he was the original guy to worry about Jeff. Always. He'll be on stage, sunglasses and everything, lights in his face and all that kind of stuff. And if I would move, all right, if I'm going to start out like in front where they can see me and I move and I start talking to somebody or whatever, and if it's a good looking woman that I'm talking to, after the show, Doug would be the first one to come to me and go, "Who was that?
Yeah, who was that?
Why did you move? Why did you go over there? What's going on? What happened? What's happening?" He was the original person that always worried about what I was doing. And brought me to a lot of the, at that time, the early 90s, brought me to a lot of shows that I got a chance to see some really good people that they opened up for. And
Great.
so I mean it was just a great time. You know, a lot of things happened in my life that maybe weren't so good, but there's a lot of charm things that happened in my life that are really good. And a lot
Well,
of
as long as you, and it sounds like you do, you identify the blessings you have and don't
Right.
dwell on the
and I'm not,
challenges.
you know, I'll never sit here and go on and on. I mean, I laughed again, Mark, this untwisted tragedies. This girl, we got to bring her up. I got to have you start watching her because it's like
Untwisted Tragedy is her name.
you gotta watch her because if I say I got a disease today that's really bad, tomorrow she'll have the same disease. It's like if she's watching or whatever, because somebody mentioned yesterday about PTSD, and of course she had it. She's got it. And I mean, it's always that she's got something, you know, and she's always grifting that she needs something. She needs money. She needs this, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And it's crazy. But, you know, she sits there and says all these health problems she has, and she's there vaping up a storm.
Yeah,
And,
that helps.
So I mean, this is the girl that I told you about that she made a wish list on Amazon so that she could get a softball bat for her husband so he could go to Florida, paid for by her, you know, people that view
Oh,
it,
jeez.
you know,
I
so he could go to
remember.
the softball tournament. I mean, just crazy stuff. And there's those type of people out there, right, that do that. So that's where we sit. We're not anything like that at all. And,
Nope. We're keeping it real.
and if we ever get to that, please, you know, that's your time to exit us, you know, to leave.
Hey, Jeff.
Because we have become really bad if we're going to
Yeah,
be that.
yeah.
Because you're not going to hear about my pain. You're not going to hear about how bad it is or how good it is. You know, you'll hear about some charm things, and those are good stories. I mean, they're good stories that happened to me and that I can talk about. You go ahead.
How about my hair implant? How is it working?
Not working.
Damn, I got taken again.
You know,
I had some lotion. Someone said, rub this on your head and you're like a Gia pet, you know? I thought I'd plant some seeds up there and start growing some.
you and
Some hair,
LTL
that's-
Media from Brian
It's
from
not
RTL Media. He just decided instead of doing that, he just decided that it was time to get a rug. And I guess
Yeah,
maybe
no.
Mark, it's time to get a rug.
I'm not going to get a rug because, one, I'm not that vain, and I don't think that my appearance is what matters. It's what, unfortunately, it's what I say. Sometimes that's what, no, it's what you do in life, not what you
And just
say.
remember, if you want a person that's really good looking, he already told us that he's really good looking. And the reason why people watch him is because he is so good looking. And nobody's going to come and watch us because we're not good looking. And that, of course, is
I'm JFK Show Off, damn it. And I got shoes, I got dress, and I'm a princess.
and that's what he is. He's a
That's it.
princess. So if you need somebody that's really good looking with a Jay Little chin, that's the guy you need to go watch. And
Yeah, jaded little mind.
and I can't wait for him to get into all this drama because this is something he loves when people are backbiting each other. And so he's going to insert himself somewhere on that. And and you know, he's still living off the fact that he thinks that this Brian Higgins, who is one of the people that are suing Karen Reed, Mark, that Brian Higgins got drunk one night and decided to call his show. Out of all the shows, he called JFK show.
Oh,
And he was, you know, and I have one of the best voice guys that can do impersonations out in LA. All right. One of the best guys you could ever have. And I've contacted him and I said, will you just practice this voice and see what you come up with? And he said, yeah. And he said, you know, always, he said, if you can get, you know, if it's the East Coast or if it's Boston, if you can get that phrasing, the way they phrase stuff in
the
Boston,
dialect.
dialect, if you can get that, it's easy to find somebody with that tone then. You know, that's where it all comes. It's easy, he said, to find a tone to it, but you got to get that dialect down first. And so, I mean, if you got somebody from Boston that has a voice kind of like that, I mean, our friend Kasi G, he does the, you know, the assistant district attorney to whatever special prosecuting attorney, Cosgrove. And it's because his voice is almost like that. And plus, he knows the dialect. So he sounds like him. And
Yeah.
so I still say that was not Higgins that called JFK. It was a staged phone call. And I'll go down saying it. And until Higgins comes out and says, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I was stupid enough to call them and everything. And, and on that phone call, Mark, he said, allegedly it's Higgins. He said, well, wonder if it comes out that Karen Reed did it. What are you going to say then? Okay. That's the same thing that in the beginning of all this, they said they had video of Karen Reed doing it, that they saw her hit him on a video. Of course, that video never came to light. So isn't that funny? So
can they do voice recognition or something to analyze the?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they can. And I mean, it was close. I mean, if you listen to it, it was close. But it's is it him? No, I don't believe it is. Because like I said, my friend who lives out in LA can call me, and do whatever voice you want. And it's hilarious. I mean, when he leaves messages, I don't even answer his phone calls anymore because I want to hear what the voice is that he's going to do.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got more, when I've listened to him in front of people, if he called, like if I'm in front of people and all of a sudden, I listen to the message where people can hear it. And all of a sudden, he's doing Bobcat Goldthwait, and they go, holy shit, Bobcat Goldthwait? No, it's my friend. He's being a good guy. Or he does Ronald Reagan, and they go, Ronald? I said, Ronald's dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can happen. Yeah, and it might, it could have been Higgins, but like I said, it hasn't come out yet with him saying that it was him. So I'm skeptical about that. And the only reason why I'm skeptical is because
JFK show off, damn it. And I got shoes, I got dress, and I'm a princess.
there you go.
There we go. Enough said.
Enough said of that. So, like I said, I wanted to get on and kind of just to go over some things. And I'm sure we're going to, have some people watch this later and go, well, you didn't really touch on this or touch on that. No, I'm not going to, because my opinion stands on what I said. So that's where we are. We're going to move forward. We're going to watch what's going to happen to Michael Proctor, see if he is going to be deposed by Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson flew in from Los Angeles to do it, but then they gave, the thing on Friday saying that he couldn't make it, which was really, so I guess they asked if he's not going to be deposed, then Michael Proctor is going to need to pay for the travel and all that. So at that point, I would say, well, maybe I'd rather be deposed and get it over with.
Yeah,
and I think it's best just to get it over with. It's not going to go away, Mark. You said what you did on the text messages. It's not going to go away. I mean, and now they said they got audio messages too, Mark.
What an idiot.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting what happens. And it sounds like, his wife already kicked him out, which probably should have, because I'm thinking that when he was talking about the roofing and getting them hammered, I don't think it was her that he was talking about. So,
No.
So anyway, I'll let you get back to your day and everything, and we will do it again this week. I know it's important to do shows a couple of times a week to to keep the people interested in the channel and all that, and we'll start doing that. And I'm going to do some things on my own later at night, because there's always some things that happen at night that we need to touch on. So I will do that. And just remember, read the disclaimer that I put up. All right. That's the biggest thing. Read that. Stop it when you replay this thing. Stop, go back to it, and just read what it says. We have zero ability to change your mind on anything. Okay. And that's not what we're here for. We're not here to change your mind. We're here to help you, laugh at stuff that are fun. That's funny. I mean, as bad as Michael Proctor's text messages were, him being an idiot is laughable, because
it's entertaining.
He's a cop, and it should have never happened.
Yep.
That's the thing. It should have never happened. And he should have never been carrying a gun, Mark. Let's face it. It should have never happened.
Nope.
So we will cue the music, and we will be back hopefully, I'm thinking probably what? Maybe
Friday,
or maybe Wednesday. We'll see what you got going on. See if you got any golf in your future that you got to get to.
Yeah, Wednesday I have an appointment to, what the heck came up on Wednesday? Oh, I'm building beds for Sleep in Heavenly Peace. We got a bed build.
This whole bleeding heart mark is so funny in itself.
Oh my God, Jeff! Why is it so hard that I'm to believe that I'm?
I mean, the guy that was so cruel to a guy in a wheelchair. Now all of a sudden he's going to build beds for people that are in need. I mean, say goodbye.
All right, goodbye.
From the murals on the wall to the street side stand, Mark's got the map, Jeff's got the plan. Cruise through Wisconsin where the sun stays bright, looking for a flavor or a brand in a new site. Let's take flight with Mark and Jeff. Hippie chick join the mad stork flock and turn it into a whole big crew. They all says we're following you. Jeff and Mark exploring again, finding the best wackadoodles in the land. Add Mark and Jeff to your day, because we have so much to say. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter how far, our curiosity's charged. We're ready to see what's next. Mark and Jeff need this job, so please come join the flock and hit the like, share, and unsubscribe. Thank you from Mark and Jeff and the Mad Stork Flock.